The world of hardcore Minecraft is a dangerous and frightening place. We only have one life. Every day brings with it a risk of death, and I'll have to survive 50 of these in order to win. Last time I tried, I lost to a creeper. But this time is going to be different. Day 1 starts with a little exploration. I've spawned in right next to a massive mine, so I've already got a little bit of iron and a nice amount of coal. And what's that off in the distance? A chest containing a map to buried treasure? I followed it into the ocean and began searching. Thanks to this door providing oxygen, I finally found my treasure, and I got some iron, gold, and a potion of water breathing, which might be useful. Here's where I'll make my residence. A nice, simple place with a lot of villagers and some free wheat to steal. I chose a smithery as my house and set about turning it into my own. Rather than wasting 2 weeks building a house, this time, I spent the rest of the day trying to get one piece of flint. Built a fletching table for one of the villagers, and then I slept through my first night in this new world. I awoke on day 2 feeling very refreshed. I brought the fletching table over to the villager and didn't get the trade I wanted, so I tried again, and then again. And now, I can trade emeralds for arrows, so I am never gonna run out. I went out and noticed another village in the distance. I stole the cartographer table from them, a stone cutter, and a bunch of wheat. And now, I can trade clay for emeralds and paper as well. That is going to be great for the long game. I saw some wood in the distance and discovered that there was a shipwreck nearby. I found the chest, grabbed the treasure map, and started ice surfing towards it. I tore the entire area to shreds before finally finding the chest and grabbing the goods. It took a long time though, and it was night at this point, so I went ahead and moved on to day 3, which I started off by killing these creepers since you remember what happened last time. Thanks to my Fletcher, I can get unlimited emeralds from sticks, and I use them to get some iron boots, nearly completing my armor. After that, I went out to gather some clay, since I can also sell that, which I used to get a bow and a lot of arrows. I then spotted a broken portal in the distance, so I went over, grabbed some flint and steel, gold pants, and a clock. I rounded the day off by trying to harvest some leather for books, and then I made a sniper platform for my house, by which I mean I just made it so I could stand on the roof. And with the high ground, I can now lay fire down upon my enemies who have no way of reaching me. And for some reason, this cleric stole my second bed, so no sleep for him tonight. I planted my sugarcane farm, did a little bit of trading, and descended into the cavern for resources. I started off collecting some much needed coal before finding myself a nice cache of iron. While I was killing a skeleton, the one thing I didn't want to happen occurred. I was surprise attacked by a zombie with a shovel. I barely managed to kill him before another one appeared.
Hello there.
I took him out as well, and blocked off the path so I could heal. If I didn't have a shield, that could have been it for me, so I'll need to be a lot more careful down here so I don't die on day 4. As a reward, I found, wouldn't you guess it, just some lapis. A little bit more iron, some gold, and then even more lapis followed. I then spied a spider spawner. Yeah, try saying that 5 times fast. And I grabbed the chest. I left the spawner be for the time being though. I don't even know where I am at this point, but I finally found, no, just more lapis. I finally found my way out though, and since it was already nighttime, after a short hunt, dawn broke, and I didn't even need to sleep for the night. I tricked an enderman into attacking me, and I hopped into the water. Since I couldn't shoot him, I went after him with my axe, and though a bit of a lame fight since he can't enter the water, I feel no remorse for my actions, and I earned my first ender pearl, a requirement to find the end. I went ahead and finished off my iron armor, and then I went clay hunting for quite a while. And of course, I sold all of it for quite a lot of emeralds. I got some more arrows and put the clay he wouldn't buy away. Let me tell you this. This, right here, is why they call me the sniper. That skeleton had no shot. And after a bit more sniping, I went ahead and ended the day. I loaded up on torches and was chased by a creeper into the mines. I killed my age-old enemy and got to mining. After finding a bunch of gold, I finally spotted some diamonds in the distance. Sadly, there were only 4. But luckily, I did find a few more nearby, so now I can make an enchantment table. I grabbed these last few, and I returned to the surface before I could be killed. I started collecting leather, sawed any nearby cows, and made myself a diamond pick. I finished trading away all that clay before mining some obsidian. I went ahead and made an enchantment table and a few bookshelves, and put it outside. No need for anything fancy. I finally got another bed so the 3 of us can sleep together, and I moved on to day 8. I went ahead and formed a nether portal. Now, you may think it's too early. However, your doubt disappoints me. I am a great Minecraft player. Let's head in. I immediately built a wall around the spawn and started blocking off the lava to ensure my safety. I explored a little bit and then I saw another fortress right next to my starting area. I have never had that kind of luck here. They're always miles away. I was shocked. I'm not gonna go there just yet though. So I found some buried treasure with a lot of iron and even more diamonds. And then I went ahead and leveled this mountain, planted some sugarcane, and then I returned to the nether. I put all that dirt that I got a few days ago to good use, blocking the rest of the lava, and then starting a path over to the fortress. I sniped the wither skeletons and carefully bridged my way over. There's no way down but to drop, and I wasn't worried about dying. Now that I'm on the ground, I built a staircase back up to the path, and I rolled off the end of the bridge. And with that set, I made my way further in, failed to hit a blaze before being surprise attacked by a second one. He tried to escape, but I got him and I earned my first blaze rod. And with a job well done, I returned home to find that we've passed into day 12. I made some powder, killed yet another enderman, and started up some potion making. I dropped in my glass bottles, some nether wart, and heated it with blaze powder. Once they became awkward, I added some magma cream which turned them into fire resistance. I added a piece of redstone and then I went on to build an incinerator. I grabbed some lava from the local above ground lava pool and went ahead and finished it off so I can burn all of my extra trash now. And since the potions are done, I now have 3 extended potions of fire resistance, so the blazes are gonna be no trouble anymore. And with that done, let's jump right in. I started forming a path to the fortress to make sure, no enemies could sneak up on me, and then I gunned down this ghast who snuck up on me. I lost a long range battle and was forced to drink my first potion. I went and took a few blazes down. Arrows and axes are effective against fire. I went ahead and crafted a few eyes of ender. Not sure how many I'm gonna need for the portal, so I'll need to make sure I have a decent amount. Sorry to all the vegans here. Yes, cow murder time is back. I know, it's sad, but I need the leather. I love cows too, but it's gotta be done. I misplaced the bookshelf, but luckily I only lose the wood, so I just placed the rest and then I remade it. And full enchantments are now available, so the rest of the cows are safe, don't worry. I finally used my diamonds to make a new chestplate, and I got fire protection and thorns, so I'm gonna be well protected. After a night of hunting, I had enough XP to enchant my pants, and all I got was protection 3, but it'll work. It was time for more trading, so I mined a ton of sand, smelted it all into glass, turned all of that glass into panes, and then sold all of those panes to the cartographer. I killed this creeper who tried sneaking up on me, and then I went back to the nether. Past the fortress though, since I wanted to find a pigling to trade with. I filled in the lava, finished building a staircase back up, and started mining some of this free gold. I went head to head with another ghast and came out on top, and then I finally found my target. I've got gold boots on, so I'm safe, and hopefully he'll trade ender pearls for my gold. He was nice enough to give me 3, but I'm gonna need a lot more. After around 20 trades though, I hadn't gotten any, so I crafted some more gold, and still didn't get any. I've got 6 eyes, which is nowhere near enough, so I'm gonna have to settle that later. First though, more trading and more brewing. Although I'm safe from fire, touching them does still hurt. A lot. And though they were willing to give a lot of stuff, none of it was ender pearls, so these trades were unsuccessful, but at least the blaze hunting went well. I've decided to turn to trading, which is much more reliable and quite a bit safer. If I get lucky, this cleric is going to trade me ender pearls. I went ahead and leveled him up to journeyman, and then I bought some glowstone for the house. Got a bad enchantment for my helm, and then infinity on my bow, which doesn't matter because I can trade for unlimited arrows. Sadly, infinity doesn't work on spectral arrows. I wanted to trade jobs, but for some reason he refused to give his up. I broke his workstation, but for some reason he wouldn't change. I got more lava for the furnace, stole some more wheat from the other village, and then got more sand for the furnace. Turned it into panes, and got more emeralds. Barely didn't level the cleric up, and then I went to bed for the evening. I crafted some fireworks to light once we beat this challenge, and there will be fireworks once we win. Why not subscribe and stick around to see how that happens? I then finished off the cleric. Sadly, no ender pearls, and glass bottle trades? Worse than panes. Useless. I tried switching somebody else to a cleric, but nobody would quit their jobs, so I finally just headed to the nearby village and got someone there to become a cleric. I started leveling him up and moved on to the next day. The cartographer wasn't ready for more glass, so I chopped down some trees and waited for him. I got as many emeralds as I could, and then it was time for bed. The next day I traded in all that wood for emeralds, and I went back to the cleric. got into Journeyman, and then as far as I could towards Expert. I traded in the last of my glass and sticks, and bought some more lapis and glowstone from the cleric. And I was rewarded with ender pearl trades. 4 emeralds for 1 ender pearl? That's wonderful. I enchanted my boots to have depth strider and fire protection, and then I spent the last of my diamonds on a new axe, which now has fortune, efficiency, and unbreaking. I went ahead and fixed up the iron golems and moved on to the next day, where I proceeded to mine a, frankly, abhorrent amount of clay, all in the name of emeralds, which I then used to get more pearls. And on day 24, I planted my very first seed. As you can tell, not a big golden run. At this point, the days kind of started to blend together, by which I mean not enough happened, so I'm going to combine them for you, because it's time to start building a house. After leveling the ground, I built a base of stone bricks, I used some terracotta for the corners, and I alternated stone and granite for the walls, which I bought from trades. I then went ahead and added in a bunch of windows, since I have so much glass. I had to requisition some more stone though, and then I got to work on the floor. I decided that I didn't like it, so I tore it up, dug into the ground, and then I replaced the floor so that this time it was level with the outside. After that, I went ahead and remade the roof, all glass this time around, which means I need a lot more sand. So I remedied that issue, purchased some more stone, and then I finished off the floor. I added some torches to make sure that mobs don't spawn, and then I finished off the roof. With the exterior complete, I started bringing in my stuff, starting with a chest and a few beds. I wanted a sniper platform so I could rain death upon my enemies. I chose to build the platform out of glass above the house, and I had to jump off it since I didn't have a ladder. The next day, I added some fencing so I couldn't fall off, and put it to work that very night. The fences, of course, don't work if I crawl around them like this, but the platform does work great. Now, I always like to christen a new home with a floor cake, so here you go. A little bit of hidden lore about me that you didn't know. I finally brought over my furnaces and I filled out the rest of my chests. With the house done, it's finally time to return to the nether to get more blaze rods. I avoided the zombie pigmen, took out some more blazes, and on my way back, killed a wither skeleton. And then I earned another ender pearl from single combat, rather than economic means. Nothing much happened on days 40 or 41, but on day 42 I made a triumphant return to the mines. It's been a while and I need some more resources. After getting a bunch of iron and gold, I happened upon some diamonds. Only 3 though. I kept searching, and eventually I found another. Exactly 1. Finally, I emerged out of the mines after 2 days of hunting, and began my journey home. Finally arriving, and luckily finding no mobs have spawned in my house. I spent those hard-earned diamonds on a new pair of boots, enchanted with only unbreaking. I then added some efficiency to my pickaxe, and some projectile protection to a pair of pants. Not as good as my current pair though. I went ahead and combined my bows to get all the enchantments on one, so now it has power, punch, infinity, and unbreaking. I tried to do this to my pants as well, but that wasn't allowed for some reason. I went ahead and collected everything I thought I'd need for my final journey. Since tomorrow, it's time to begin the search for the end. And here's what I've got. Eyes of Ender, arrows, food, iron, golden apple, fireworks, and just a few other miscellaneous items. With that decided, I loaded up my inventory and looked around my house. I only lived here for a few days, but I have no regrets about building it. Hopefully the villagers will get some use out of it once I leave, and I hopped into bed and awoke on day 45. I walked through the village that's housed me for so long. So many memories were had here. Living in the communal housing, building the nether portal, getting enchantments, trading and living alongside the villagers. I will never forget their generosity in hosting me these past days. And leaving them was a bittersweet moment. But it's time to go. I tossed my first Eye of Ender and located the path forward. I tamed a horse, coated him in diamond armor, and I rode my new steed past the second village, around this ravine that I could easily have fallen into if I wasn't being careful, and all the way to the coast. From here, I set off alone, leaving him behind and continuing via boat. Traveling across the vast sea, I finally arrived at another village. I kept searching and I found that the end portal was right below my feet, and pretty close to the village as well. I started digging down the next day, mining side by side to ensure that I wouldn't fall into a lava pool and die, this close to my goal. Eventually, I fell into the stronghold, and with just a little bit of exploring, I found the portal room. I broke the spawner, killed the remaining silverfish, and saw that there were only 2 eyes in the portal. Luckily, I have plenty, so I don't need to farm any more endermen. I blocked off all the nearby entrances so no enemies could sneak up on me, explored a tiny bit, and then I built my way back up to the surface. I marked the hole down and returned to the village to sleep for the night. I made a path leading me back to the stronghold and made the decision to wait until day 50 to take on the dragon. I brought everything I owned down to the portal and spent the night down there. Day 48, just 2 more days and we're done. I filled up some water buckets and finally finished my giant ladder all the way from the portal to the surface. I spent the next day patrolling the waters around the village. They've been kind to me this past week, and I wanted to make sure they'd be safe once I left. I found a giant cave, but considering it was day 49, I decided not to risk it. And after some more exploring, I moved on to day 50. We've officially done it. 50 days survived in hardcore Minecraft. You know what that means. I lit off all the fireworks I crafted so long ago, letting the village join me in a well-earned celebration. I've dove through deep caves, found iron, coal, and diamonds, ventured into the nether, conquered the fortress, and undertook a journey of epic proportion to uncover the end's location. Now, only one task remains. It's time to take on the Ender Dragon, and free this world from his tyranny. With the celebration complete, I bid farewell to everyone and dropped back into the portal room. I placed each eye of Ender one by one, all but one. I double-checked my gear, made sure I had everything I'd need, and I went to sleep for the final time. And just so you can't say I didn't survive a whole 50 days, here you go. It's officially day 51. Let's finish this. I left everything else behind and created the portal. I made sure I was set and then hopped in. I mined my way out of the spawn chamber and immediately started aiming for the end crystals. No hits. I moved in closer and instantly aggroed every enderman in sight. I tried to stay in the water while breaking the crystals, but more and more kept coming. I was attacking like crazy, trying to hit the crystals while also trying to fend them off, and then the dragon charged. But it wasn't the dragon that got me. It was a swarm of endermen that dealt the final blow. So, yeah, that didn't go too well. But, you know what? I said I was going to survive 50 days in hardcore Minecraft, and I did. As for the world, well, it's hardcore. There's no going back. Hardcore World 3 was a massive success, and now, it's officially deleted. Thanks so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed. Let me know if you thought I was going to be able to do it. Subscribe if you want to see more, and have a great rest of your day. Bye.